Hello, my babes, and welcome to another Natalie Paterson show. Number, I don't know. So, brother has no idea either. Nah, it'd be like 40, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
We've done a lot of...
Natalie Paterson show.
Yeah.
This would be like 44.
Yeah, 44. Welcome to 44. Yay! So, in today's episode, we are going to be diving deep into, was my first 100K harder or was my first million harder? I don't know. So I'm just going to workshop it with you guys and let you know everything that's rolling off my tongue. So firstly, getting to my first 100K was so incredibly hard because of all the variables, right? I had so much trauma. I had so much deconditioning that I had to do about money. I was so money. So for me, it was like reprogramming all the pieces, doing like heaps of ancestral work, like heaps of deep diving into how and why my patterns are playing out. And then the deep dive into like, who am I? What am I here for? Who am I teaching? Who am I coaching? And then it was like sales calls, getting rejected, people not liking my stuff. Like, I moved through all of this, me thinking I'm an amazing coach, and then maybe being like not getting the best results, and I'm like, why? What's happening? And you know, that first 100K was like, I was consistently investing in myself. So money would come in, money would go out, money come in, money go out. And that first 100K was so incredibly challenging because it was met with so many, like I thought I was there and then I was in scarcity again. And I thought I was there and I was in scarcity again. I thought I was there and then I was in scarcity again. And I like went on this roller coaster of like up, scarcity, up, scarcity, up, scarcity. And really what allowed me to get there was my determination and absolute grit. And my bigger soul's mission of like, I know what I'm here for. And I know I always speak about this, but really when I dive deep into my mission and why I'm here to create, you know, millions and really inspire people and really activate people and their mission and what they're here to create, it's like, I had no idea when I was doing, you know, 0 to 100K, I had no idea how big I could become and how impactful I could become and how many lives I would change. All I knew is that I had this yearning to help more humans and this yearning and this deep desire to be more influential. And it's like baby Nat, she was so cute. You know, I was hustling and I was doing all the things. I was reprogramming myself. I was meditating. I was magical scripting. I was running every day. I was, you know, talking to money out loud. I was getting on every single sales call. I was going on live every single day. I was doing events. I was like doing everything that the gurus tell you to do. And I was everything but paid ads, actually. I never did paid ads. And I was doing all of these amazing things purely because I thought that it would get me to 100K. And when I released the control of like, you know what, whenever it's meant to be is whenever it's meant to be, and like let that go, it really helped. And then I had this one magical man change my life. His name's Jackson and he's one of my besties. I'm actually flying to the Whitsundays tomorrow to see him. Shout out to you, Jackie. I love you. And Jackie's a multi-millionaire. He's incredibly successful and he's been such a huge influence in my life. He's been a big brother. He's been a mentor. He's been a supporter. He's been my cheerleader. He's been all of it. And he called me and he was like, Chickie, he always calls me Chickie. Chickie, you're going to do 100K this month. I can feel it. And I was like, 100K? Me? Like, bro, I'm doing, you know, 20K, 30K, 40K months. Like, what? And I had done a $75,000 month. So I was like, oh, maybe. And he's like, Chickie, I feel it. I know you're going to do it. And all he did was plant that seed and then hold the belief in the timeline. And literally every couple of days he'd call me, hey, Chickie, how you going? How's 100K going? How's 100K going? And it's like he talked about it so much that I just started to believe it. And he talked about it so much that I was like, maybe I could do it. And the wildest thing happened. The last day of the month, I was at $70,000, and I remember I had 2 sales calls booked in, and my programs at the time were like $10,000. So I was like, cool, I could probably make 90 grand. There's no way I'll make 100 grand today. But I sat in my bed and I prayed to my spirit guides and I said, Spirit guides, I believe in a miracle. I believe in a miracle. Please, universe, please show me. I know I can do this. I jumped on the sales call, sold the person, 10K. Woo! So stoked. Jumped on the next sales call, and it was a couple. Now, I never thought I was going to sell both of them into it, but guess what? I then sold both of them in. And it actually, when I put it into my sales tracker, it came to $101,000 in a month. And I honestly, I looked at my sales tracker and I was like in that shock of like, oh my fucking God, I've done it. And then I just picked up the phone, FaceTime Jacko, and I was like, I've done it, like bawling my eyes out. I'm like, I've done 100K. And he's like, I knew you could, Natty. I'm so proud of you. And I was just like fucking bawling my eyes out. I was like, wow, this man believed in me. And because of the belief in me, I raised my standards. And now I do that with my clients. I'm like, babe, you're going to do 30K this month. Babe, you're going to do 50K this month. Babe, you're going to do 150K this month. Let's go. And I hold that timeline and I feel it and I know it and I believe in them so much that they then believe in themselves. And so what that then did was that built belief in me. And that belief then took me to my $1 million. And so at the start of this, I said, I wonder what was easier. Now that I'm actually telling you this and like piecing it by piece, my first 100K was harder than my $1 million, for sure, because that grit and that determination and that scarcity dropping really, 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 really tested me. And I felt like spirit was just testing me upon a test, upon a test, upon a test, upon a test, which right now you may be getting there. And if that is you, I want to tell you to keep going. If you're getting tested and tested and tested by the universe, guess what? Go harder, because this is when all the weak people drop off. You don't want to be those people. You want to keep going. I'm that person that keeps going. And here's the thing. Millionaires, there's only 1% of the world that actually become millionaires. And that's because they're the people that are elite and literally just are resilient and just fucking not going to give up. And that resilience is what built me to my $1 million. Because last year, there were so many things that quote unquote got in the way. There were so many things that I didn't have time for. There were so many things that made me feel like shit. Like, I'm saying this all in quotation marks because I'm serious when I say that, like, there are so many times that I could have said, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. I can't do that. I can't do that. I don't have the time. I don't have the space. I don't have the capacity. I don't have this. I don't have that. But I said that to friends, basically, I'll be honest. I was like, I don't have time to see you. And I meant that. Like, I prioritized working and working on my mindset and working on, like, I had 4 mentors. So that's 4 hours a week out of my time. I had so many hours that I wanted to go for a walk every single morning to get my mind right so I could listen to Tony Robbins or Gary Vee or any of the big dogs, or even reprogram myself. I made sure I meditated every single morning. I made sure I had time for that shit, because they're the pieces that were moving the needle in my business. Yes, hanging out with friends is so beautiful and I love that. However, what was getting me to my $1 million, I knew wasn't around. I wasn't here to put socks on centipedes. I'm literally here to make impact and create wealth. And I knew that I had to change my internal dialogue. I had to change my friends. I had to change my beliefs. I had to change what I was doing and how I was showing up. And then my $1 million, like, it was hardcore, guys. Like, getting to your first $1 million isn't easy. And anyone that tells you it is, are full of shit. Yes, we can make money with ease. Totally. I totally believe that. Like, I did a $70,000 cash week last week and I didn't work that hard. Yes, I worked like some big hours, but I also went to Melbourne, hung out with my friends, hung out with my family. Like, I also did some cool shit, you know? So there gets to be levels, right? With my first $1 million, what kept pushing me was every single time I came up with people talking shit about me, or people being negative, or clients wanting to pull out of my container, or anything else, I was like, I'm not making this mean anything about me or my mission. And then my biggest piece of advice that I can ever give anyone that is wanting to get to $1 million, don't make things mean something about you. Like, allow your goals to keep driving you. What is your why? Dig deeper into your why, dig deeper into your mission, dig deeper into like the reason that you're born on this earth. And when you connect to that deeper why, it will pull you in the right direction. Every single time that you got shiny object syndrome and you're like, oh, that could be shiny, that could be cool, and it's not to do with your mission or your wealth or your mindset, don't do it. It's actually that simple, right? It's like, you know, sometimes when you have a whole block of chocolate, like you could eat the whole block of chocolate, you could. Or you could eat a couple of pieces, be satisfied and move on. And that's what it's like in business, where people get so consumed in the emotion and they get so consumed in the ego death that they then write off months and months and months of their business, where really it's like, feel the feeling, find an action step to then creating a solution. I think it's less about being emotional and it's more about being, what is the biggest step? What is the bigger piece here? Because there were plenty of times last year where I literally thought about throwing it all away. And I remember this one week where I was up at like 5 a.m. in the morning, doing my reprogramming stuff, going to the beach, coming home, 6 a.m. I was on the computer and my brother FaceTimed me. He's like, what are you doing? And I was like, working. He's like, it's 6 a.m. I was like, yeah, bro, I've got emails to do. And he's like, why? And I was like, what do you mean why? Like, the mission doesn't stop because I slept. The mission doesn't stop because I slept. The mission doesn't stop because I'm sick. The mission doesn't stop because of anything. The mission's the mission, bruh. And he was like, fucking respect. And I was like, yeah, man, I'm going to be a millionaire this year. I'm not here to spiders. He's like, yeah. And then literally I was working through until 10 p.m. at night. And I remember thinking, I started at 6 a.m., stopped at 10 p.m. And I remember, you know, not wanting to be in a 9 to 5 because I literally wanted to start my business. And here I am working twice as hard. And though the rewards, like the feeling that I feel when someone messages me and says, you've changed my life, I love you. Like any day I have, any thing, any comment that I read, or any person that projects on me or tells me that I'm not good, whatever the fuck, when someone messages me that, it makes everything worth it. I'm like, this is so worth it. And then like simple things like, I've shared this story quite a lot, but when I was in Hawaii at the start of the year, probably gonna make me emotional. When I was in Hawaii at the start of the year, I walked into this shop and I saw a Lilo and Stitch painting on the wall. And that's my sister's favorite thing in the whole entire world. My sister loves Hawaii and she loves Lilo and Stitch. And there was this beautiful painting. And I walked straight up to it, picked it off the wall, put it on the counter, and I didn't look at the price tag. And it was $1,000 USD, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe it came to $1,000, I don't know. Anyway, it was way more expensive than I thought it was going to be. And though now because of what I've been able to create, I can do that. And then when I FaceTimed my little sister and showed her, she was so grateful. And that feeling is so much more worth any of the that I have to go through to get there. So, beautiful babes, to sum up this whole entire episode, getting to my 100K was actually way harder than my million. And my second million was so easy. Like, so easy. They always say once you've done your first million, your second's so easy. Like, so easy. Like, collapse time. It took me a whole year to do 1 mil. Well, actually, it took me 7 years to do a mil, if I'm really that honest. Like, I did all the spiritual work, then, you know, that first year in business, I did help 70 people out of anxiety, depression. But then from 1 year to 1 year, when I started business coaching, I did $1 million. And then my second million was in 4 months. And then if I look from May to May, I did $2.2 million in 1 year from May to May. It's just wild. So, yeah. And now we're definitely up on sales this year, which is amazing. Done a $600,000 a month. And it's only going to get bigger, which is great. We've got new systems, new employees, which is really beautiful, and heaps of new structure in the company. We've invested in a lawyer, which is really cool. We're rewriting everything, all our policies and procedures. We've invested in the best marketing agency literally in the world that has taken people to 150 million. Like, we are scaling this business. We are growing it as big as we can. And we are so excited to take it to 8 figures. And I'm so excited that you guys are here to watch the journey of me becoming the biggest, greatest version of me. So thanks for following my journey. Ellie.